Good morning to all. Welcome to online classroom of Sri Gokulam Public School, Guruvayur. Hope you all fine at home. Students, today we are going to discuss a new chapter number 2, inverse trigonometry functions. Okay. Before the discussion, recall, see in chapter 1, relations and functions, we already discussed or noted that any one onto functions are invertible function. What do you mean by invertible function? Invertible function means inverse exists. Okay. And in class plus 1 we noted that we studied that every trigonometry functions are not one onto functions. And naturally it is not a invertible function. Okay. For example, sin x. Sin x is defined on the domain the set of all real line. Okay, set of all real line. And we know that on this domain the sine function is not 1. So we cannot define its inverse. So we are going to restrict or divide the domain into small intervals so that we can define its inverse. So listen children, in this chapter we shall study how to restrict this domain, how to make restrictions on this domain and to find the inverse of a trigonometric function. Okay. Also some elementary properties be discussed in this chapter. So watch the video carefully and practice well. Listen children. See, this is the graph of sine function. Okay. And sine function is defined on the set of real numbers with range closed interval -1, 1. Listen, at the points x equal to 0, x equal to pi, x equal to 2 pi, x equal to minus pi, x equal to minus 2 pi and so on, the sine value is becomes 0. That is sin n pi is equal to 0. We already know the result, sin n pi is equal to 0 for all values of n. That is for all integers n. When n equal to 0, n equal to 1, n equal to 2, etc. Okay. Now, what is the maximum value of sine function? The maximum value of sine function is 1 and the minimum value of sine function is -1, and therefore range is the closed interval -1, 1. Okay. So, from the graph we can see that the maximum value of these functions attained at x equal to pi by 2, x equal to 5 pi by 2 and so on. Similarly, x equal to minus 3 pi by 2, x equal to minus 5 pi by 2, etc. At all these points we can see that the graph of sine function attains its maximum. Now what about the minimum value? At a point 3 pi by 2, 7 pi by 2, etc. and minus pi by 2, minus 5 pi by 2, at all these points you can see the graph of the function attains its minimum. Anyway, in this case, sine function, if we define on the set of all real numbers, we already know that sine function is not 1 and on 2. If the function is 1 on 2 only, we can define its inverse. That we already learned in chapter 1, relations and functions. Okay. So, listen children, we want to make the sine function as 1. We are going to restrict the domain, the set of all real numbers into small closed intervals, and therefore it becomes a 1 function. That means we are going to restrict the domain into the closed intervals and then it becomes 1 and on 2. Okay. Now look at this graph. This graph is the graph of the function sine inverse x. Listen, the graph of the function sine inverse x can be obtained from the graph of sine x by interchanging x and y axis. Okay, so the graph of y equal to sine x defined from R to closed interval minus 1, 1, and therefore its inverse, sine inverse defined from closed interval minus 1, 1 to R. Similarly, we can define the graph of the function cos x and also its inverse cos inverse x. Listen, cosine function is also defined on the set of all real numbers into closed interval minus 1, 1. And the maximum values is attained at x equal to 0, x equal to 2 pi, etc. x equal to minus 2 pi and so on. Okay, see from the graph we can easily find the ups and downs or the maximum and minimum values of the function at a point x. So, in this case of cosine function, as such sine function, we can define its inverse cos inverse x from the closed interval minus 1, comma 1 to the set of real numbers. Okay, that is just interchange the x-axis and y-axis of the cos function. We get the graph of the inverse function, that is graph of cos inverse x. Okay. Listen, sine is defined from R to closed interval minus 1, 1. If we define the sine function in the set of all real numbers, we can see that it is not 1, 1 and on 2. Okay. So, to find its inverse, we need the function 1, 1 on 2. So that we divide the set of all real numbers into small closed intervals and makes the sine function as a 1, 1 function. That means we are going to divide the set of all real numbers into small closed intervals of the form minus 3 pi by 2 to minus pi by 2, minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, pi by 2 to 3 pi by 2, etc. So, if we restrict or divide the set of all real numbers into these closed intervals with the range minus 1, 1, we can see that the sine function becomes 1, 1 and on 2 function. In this case, we can define inverse of the function, that is sine inverse from minus 1 to 1 to the interval, listen, minus 3 pi by 2 to pi by 2 or minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 or pi by 2 to 3 pi by 2. Okay. See, in these intervals, we can say the closed intervals minus pi by 2, comma pi by 2. Okay. This interval minus pi by 2, comma pi by 2 called principal value branch. That is very important. Principal value branch of the function sine inverse x. Whereas the other intervals as range give different branches of sine inverse x. See, all these intervals are branches of sine inverse x. Particularly, this closed interval minus pi by 2 called principal value branch. This is very important concept. We take the function sine inverse x whose domain is minus 1, comma 1 and its range is, listen, minus pi by 2, pi by 2. Okay. Similarly, we can define the cos function, cos or cosine function. Okay. From the set of all real numbers to minus 1, 1. Here also, cosine function in the domain are not 1, 1 and on 2 and naturally we cannot define its inverse. So, we restrict the set of all real numbers into another closed intervals, just like minus pi 0, 0 pi, pi 2 pi, etc. Because we define these intervals on the basis of the value of cosine function attains its maximum. See, from the graph you can see at all points you can see the graph attains its maximum and minimum. For example, if we consider the interval 0 pi, you can see that the maximum attains at 0 and minimum at pi. Minimum at pi and maximum at 2 pi and so on. Okay. So, in this case, we can partition or restrict the set of four real numbers into these closed intervals. Listen, all these closed intervals are branches of the function cosine, and especially listen, 0 pi, closed interval 0 pi is known as principal value branch. Okay, principal value branch of the function cos. So we can define the inverse of the function cos inverse x from the closed interval minus 1 to 1 to the closed interval 0 pi. So principal value branch is very important. So by heart the principal value branch of sine inverse x and cos inverse x and all other inverse trigonometric functions. Using this principal value branch we can see some problems how to find the principal values of the inverse trigonometric functions. Okay. Now look at this table. The table represents the principal value branches of different inverse trigonometric functions. Okay, listen. Sine inverse from minus 1 to 1 to closed interval minus pi by 2, pi by 2. Here the first interval, closed interval minus 1, 1 is domain. Closed interval minus pi by 2, pi by 2 is the range. Here the range closed interval minus pi by 2, pi by 2 represents the principal value branch of the function sine inverse x. So you have to by heart the range. That range represents principal value branches of the respective trigonometric functions. See the question. Find the principal value of sine inverse negative 1 by 2. Listen, principal value or value of an inverse trigonometric functions which lies in the range of principal branch. That is called principal value of that inverse trigonometric function. Okay. So listen, here the inverse trigonometric function is sine inverse and we know the principal value branch of sine inverse x is minus pi by 2, pi by 2. So by heart it, principal value branch of sine inverse x is minus pi by 2, pi by 2. Now let us consider the given inverse trigonometric function as y. So y equal to sine inverse negative 1 by 2. So what is sine y? Sine y is equal to negative 1 by 2. Okay, sine y is equal to negative 1 by 2. Now listen, for what value of y this becomes or sine y becomes negative 1 by 2? That's our question. Okay, what is sine 30? 30 means pi by 6. Sine 30 is 1 by 2. And we have a result sine minus x is equal to minus sine x. All these results we learned in class plus 1. So with the help of this result, listen, sine minus x is equal to minus sine x can be written as sine minus pi by 6 is equal to minus sine pi by 6, that is minus sine pi by 6 is 30, that is minus 1 by 2. So here we can replace sine y is equal to sine minus pi by 6, which implies y is equal to minus pi by 6. Okay, y means our sine inverse minus 1 by 2. So the principal value of sine inverse minus 1 by 2 is equal to minus pi by 6. Okay. Listen students, we can solve the same problem by another way. Listen, we have a result sine inverse minus x is equal to minus sine inverse x. Actually, these results will discuss in next section. Still, you have to remember this result to find the principal value of inverse trigonometric function. Okay, so we can find the principal value using this result. See, sine inverse negative 1 by 2 can be written as negative sine inverse 1 by 2. Okay, that is negative sine inverse. Now think for what value of sine this becomes 1 by 2. That is sine pi by 6. Okay. Now we can cancel this sine inverse and sine. Sine inverse sine, that is 1, that is minus pi by 6. So sine inverse negative 1 by 2 is equal to minus pi by 6. Okay. Now cos inverse root 3 by 2. So let's start y equal to cos inverse root 3 by 2 or cos y is equal to root 3 by 2 or cos y is equal to, for what value of y cos y becomes root 3 by 2, that is cos pi by 6, that is cos 30. Okay, so cos y equal to cos pi by 6 means y equal to pi by 6. Y means cos inverse root 3 by 2. So principal value of cos inverse root 3 by 2 is equal to pi by 6. See this question. Find the principal value of cos inverse negative 1 by 2. So let's start. Y equal to cos inverse negative 1 by 2. Y equal to cos inverse negative 1 by 2 implies cos y is equal to negative 1 by 2. Now what is the principal value branch of cos inverse? This is 0 pi. Closed interval 0 pi. So closed interval 0 pi means first quadrant, second quadrant, including or containing these two quadrants, or these two quadrants together gives the interval 0 pi. Okay, so we can say that y belongs to either first quadrant or second quadrant. Because of the given function cos is negative and therefore the value of y lies in second quadrant. See, in the first quadrant all the ratios are positive. In the second quadrant only sine ratio is positive and the remaining ratios are negative. Okay, sine and its reciprocal, sine and cosec are positive and all other trigonometric ratios are negative. In the question, the given cos function is negative and therefore the value of y lies in second quadrant. Okay, and the values lies in second quadrant can be written as pi minus theta. It's very important, pi minus theta. So, cos y is equal to negative 1 by 2 can be written as cos pi minus, listen, pi minus pi by 3. This pi by 3 is obtained by cos pi by 3 is equal to 1 by 2. Cos 60 is equal to 1 by 2. Okay. So, cos y is equal to cos pi minus pi by 3, that is 2 pi by 3. That is y is equal to 2 pi by 3, or the principal value branch of cos inverse negative 1 by 2 is equal to 2 pi by 3. Okay. Listen, the same problem can be done in another method using a result cos inverse minus x. cos inverse minus x equal to pi minus cos inverse x. Using this result, we can easily find the principal value of cos inverse negative 1 by 2. Listen, cos inverse negative 1 by 2 can be written as pi minus cos inverse 1 by 2. That is pi minus cos inverse. Listen, this 1 by 2 can be written as cos pi by 3. Okay, cos pi by 3. Now, this can be written as pi minus cos inverse cos. We can cancel. So, pi minus pi by 3 is equal to 2 pi by 3. So, principal value of cos inverse negative 1 by 2 is equal to 2 pi by 3. So, if you by heart this result, you can easily find the principal value of the trigonometry. I mean inverse trigonometry function. Okay. Another question. Find the principal value of tan inverse minus 1. Let's start. Y equal to tan inverse minus 1. From here we can write tan y. Tan y is equal to minus 1. Okay. Now result tan minus x. Tan minus x equal to minus tan x. This is a result we learned in class plus 1. Tan minus x equal to minus tan x. So, tan y is equal to minus 1 can be written as minus tan pi by 4, because tan pi by 4 or tan 45 equal to 1. And now listen, minus tan pi by 4 can be written as tan minus pi by 4 using this result. So tan y is equal to tan minus pi by 4, which implies y is equal to minus pi by 4. That is tan inverse minus 1. That is our y. Tan inverse minus 1 equal to minus pi by 4, or the principal value of tan inverse minus 1 equal to minus pi by 4. Listen, there is a result tan inverse minus x equal to minus tan inverse x. Using this result also we can see the result or the answer. Tan inverse minus 1 is equal to minus tan inverse 1. That is minus tan inverse. This 1 can be written as tan pi by 4. So tan inverse tan cancel, so that the answer is negative pi by 4. So tan inverse minus 1 is equal to minus pi by 4. So by heart the result, sin inverse minus x equal to minus sin inverse x. Cos inverse minus x equal to pi minus cos inverse x. And tan inverse minus x equal to minus tan inverse x. Okay. Similarly, we can define for sec inverse, cosec inverse, etc. Listen. Cosec inverse minus x equal to minus cosec inverse x. Sec inverse minus x equal to pi minus sec inverse x. Similarly, cot inverse minus x equal to minus cot inverse x. So, if you by heart these first three results, you can easily find the remaining 3 also. Anyway, by heart all the results. Okay. See this question. Find the value of cos inverse 1 by 2 plus 2 sin inverse 1 by 2. Listen. Cos inverse 1 by 2 can be written as cos 60. Cos 60 is 1 by 2. 60 means pi by 3. Plus 2 sin inverse 1 by 2. This 1 by 2 can be written as sin 30. Sin 30 is pi by 6. So cos inverse cos pi by 3 is pi by 3 plus 2 into sin inverse sin. We can cancel. So 2 into pi by 6 that is pi by 3 plus 2 into pi by 6 is pi by 3. So pi by 3 plus pi by 3, 2 pi by 3. Okay. Pi by 3 plus pi by 3 is equal to 2 pi by 3. So the value of cos inverse 1 by 2 plus 2 sin inverse 1 by 2 is equal to 2 pi by 3. So dear students, this is about principal values and principal value branches of given inverse trigonometric functions. So study well, by heart all the results and practice all the problems, especially examples and exercise questions, okay, given in your textbook. So thank you all. Have a nice day.